This week, I'm deconstructing a banana pudding and turning it into a cake. I have all the elements of the pudding and I'll make it all from scratch. Vanilla cake, banana cake, vanilla pudding, fresh bananas, and I'm gonna use these delicious cookies, whatever they're called. Let's start with the vanilla cake.
I've decided to bake 1 layer of vanilla cake and 1 layer of banana cake for the inside. I have all my ingredients laid out for the vanilla. So into the bowl of a stand mixer. See, I'm so tempted to, I'm only gonna do 8 seconds. I'm just putting it on defrost for 8 seconds. It's not quite room temperature, it's colder. Okay, I'm glad I only did 8 seconds. Wow, that made all the difference in the world. So, see that? Sugar and vanilla. Add my salt and my baking powder. Should have been in maybe a bit bigger bowl, but it's okay. To my flour. It's tight. Whole fat milk, and then let me just crack my eggs. I'm going to turn this on to cream. Did I unplug? Okay. Woo! Okay, now on low, I'm gonna add 1 egg at a time. 1 more egg. Now I'm going to alternate my dry ingredients with the milk, starting and ending with dry. So I'm going to pour this into my prepared pan with a sheet of parchment at the bottom. I also want to make sure there's no air bubbles, so I like to run a knife through it. Okay, so I'm gonna pop this in the oven, I was about to say fridge, at 350 degrees. I technically only need 1 pan of this banana cake, but banana cake is my favorite, so I'm just gonna make the full recipe and we can eat the other one. Sounds like a plan? Okay, so I need to add my unsalted butter. You better be room temperature. My sugar and my vanilla. And then what I have ready here are my eggs. They'll go in next. Then I have flour, baking powder, baking soda. Here's the crucial part of this recipe. This is buttermilk, and then you also want overripe bananas. I'm talking, like, would you eat a banana like this, Eli? This is perfect for cake, even if it's beyond this and all of it is brown. So 6 bananas. So if you have bananas that become too ripe at home, you can pop them in the freezer in their skin and then thaw them and use them for banana cake, banana bread. So what I'm gonna do now is mash these bananas with my hands, pour in the buttermilk and stir it together. But in the meantime, I am turning on my mixer because this needs to really cream. Okay, the butter, sugar, and vanilla are now nicely creamed. So I'm gonna add my eggs 2 at a time. Now I'm going to add dry and wet, starting with dry, ending with dry. Banana pudding is like a southern dessert, and it's a pudding mixed with these particular vanilla wafers. And it's kind of built like a trifle, and then the wafers kind of become soft. This is one of my favorite cakes, this and carrot, but I can't use them in novelty. So when I get the chance to make banana or carrot, I eat so much cake. I just out-cake myself. You know what I mean?
Now I'll make the vanilla pudding. The recipe calls for instant pudding mix, which I have, and I stirred together with water and allowed to set overnight in the fridge. The next day, you're gonna whip some whipped cream and fold it into the pudding mix.
This recipe calls for 3 cups of whipping cream, but I'm afraid that that will be too light in a cake. So what I'm gonna do is I doubled the pudding mixture, but I'm gonna do the same amount of whipping cream. Yeah, I'm gonna whip the whole liter. You like how I talk to myself? Let's see if it's at, it looks like it's stiff peaks. This is how I like to check. So I'm gonna put half of this. It's on the sweet side, but once we add unsweetened whipped cream, that will change. Now I'm gonna start to fold in whipped cream until I feel like it's the consistency that the cake can handle. Because the last thing I want is to be scared of a cake collapsing. I have my sugar in the pot. I'm gonna add water. Put this on the stove top, and it needs to come to a boil and reach 240 degrees. I also have 8 egg whites in the bowl fitted with the whip attachment. I have a pound of butter. I have some vanilla, a spatula. I'm just waiting for the sugar to reach 240. I'm going to move this buttercream to a container. So while my meringue was whipping until it was cool enough to add butter, off to the side I used my food processor, and I just, why do I always I always want to say pulverized when I use a food processor. That's a bit much. I ground these banana chips. I happen to love these banana chips, so when I thought about making this cake, I thought about how to use them. And they're quite dusty. So then I sifted the dust from the pebbles, and I'm going to use both in the cake. I think I'm gonna put the dust in the buttercream for the finish, and I promise I'll use the pebbles somewhere. I would never waste banana pebbles.
Now that we have everything ready, we can assemble this cake. I'll show you how to do it, but feel free to give your own spin.
I'm so happy we get to eat banana cake scraps today. Beautiful. I'm not going to remove the caramelization from the bottom, so I'm just going to layer this in 2. Now I can lay my layers out to simple syrup. I'm simple syruping the caramelized side because that will be the top layer. The next thing I need to do is cut bananas so that they can fit inside the cake. I can't stand to see a bruise on a banana. Can't stand it. So I have 2 layers of banana cake, 2 layers of vanilla cake, which I'm going to alternate. I'll pipe a fence with Italian meringue buttercream, a thin layer of pudding down, bananas, cookies, which I have to figure out how they're going to fit in. Now I'm going to pipe a fence on top of my fence, and what I'm going to do is chill this fence before I fill it with the pudding. I changed my mind, guys. Because the Nilla wafers are round, I think I want to cut the cookies into little circles, and that way I'll get more filling in. Because the cookie's so plain. I'd rather taste the filling in the bananas. Remember that I ground up the banana chips, so I think I'm gonna add the coarser bits here. I know that this, oh boy. Oh yo, oh yo. Ready? I saw that happening and I still did it. So I just wanna make sure to press the filling down so it fills in all the gaps. All right, now it's time to add vanilla cake. Smooth out the fence just for a moment. Go. Bananas. Bananas. Last layer, and then I'm gonna crumb coat. Maybe I need a bigger spatula for that. Okay, vanilla cake. Ooh, this is frightening. Make sure they're lined up. This cake needs to get in the fridge. Before I ice this cake, I wanna add the banana chip dust. I understand. I saw myself doing it. I totally saw that happening. Is my bowl in the way? All I need is a hand on it. Oh my goodness. I'm so scared. Okay, this is a good stand because it doesn't have a lip. Thank you. I'm gonna cut some cookies. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I have an idea. Of course, it's an odd number. Why wouldn't it be? This is weird. I've never tried to line up a cookie. You Is it gonna bother me that I'm seeing the back side of the cookie? Like maybe I should do less and, you know what I'm saying? You don't line up. I don't appreciate that. That's a lot. Is it? Oh, that's good. So I found these wafer paper flowers at the grocery store. Can you believe that? I don't know if color dust will stick to the wafer paper. There, that looks good. Just a slight yellow. So what I'm thinking is, I'll add a flower at every second cookie. A little crown of flowers on top. I like that. Yeah, but I do need some yellow in there. Oh, I like it. It's so pretty. Where do I cut? I don't want to ruin the flowers. Oh my goodness. That is an easy cut. Did you see that? I want all of it. Vanilla cake, banana cake, bananas, custard, cookies. Okay, so if I was gonna make another layer up cake, what dessert should I base it around? Go in the comments, and I'll see you next week.